Mitchell Show. Karina Mitchell.
Welcome to the show. I'm Karina Mitchell, your host. We're talking about beauty, art, style, and entertainment every time you see me on this screen. I am here with McKenya Dillworth, and she has a new adventure. Not really new, but it is new. And it is the Lake Street Theater right here in Gary, Indiana. And welcome to the show, McKenya.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be on the show. I've been back for 2 years from the DC area, and I haven't been on your show. I was feeling a little something, but I'm so happy to be here.
You know, actually, I haven't been taping a lot, but now I'm back in the swing.
Okay,
you know?
I'm glad because I'm a faithful fan, watcher, all of that.
Thank you, thank you. But we're here to talk about the theater.
Absolutely.
We're here to talk about McKenya as the director, proprietor of a theater. And you have been, let's get some of your education because you went to school for theater as well.
Yes, I did go to school for theater. I would have to say my first education was by Morning Bishop, the late, great Morning Bishop, my favorite person in the world, my parents.
Yes.
God rest their souls. So my first education was actually community theater, which is why we have come back, or I have come back to invest into the community. Mm-hmm. Community theater is the training ground. It really is. It's where you wet your feet. It's where you stretch your imagination. It's where you build your self-esteem as it relates to becoming an artist. Mm-hmm. So that was my first sort of indoctrination or introduction into the world of the arts and the possibility. And my mom was a guerrilla artist. You know, we did shows in parking lots before it was in vogue.
Okay.
Right. We had community gardens before it was popular.
Okay.
You know, those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
And then my formal education was at the University of Northern Iowa, and then I graduated from Simpson College, and then of course I went to graduate school in Austria, and my degrees are in theater and German.
Right. Then you came back. You moved to New York, and you had such a wonderful time in New York.
Yes, but I didn't like New York, okay? New York, don't believe the hype. You make it in Gary, Indiana, you can make it anywhere. Because it's truly, you're working from ground zero here.
Yes.
In terms of resources, but not in terms of talent, skills, and ability. I've been pretty much all over the world. I've lived on 5 continents, either lived there, worked there, or gone to school, 5 of the 7 continents. Yes. I have not seen more beautiful people, aesthetically beautiful, than in the city of Gary.
Okay.
I haven't seen more talented people than in the city of Gary. And if we only knew how powerful we really are, we would be dangerous.
Like Michael said, dangerous. Yeah, we are. And I thank you for the compliment, and thank you for putting Gary first. Because
I've never said I was from Chicago. No offense, Chicago, but Gary is so very special. We were the first to have an African-American mayor. We were the first to have Ohio, stop. You guys were just 1 hour ahead, okay? That's the only reason you all say you had the first mayor. Stop it. So Carl Stokes, okay? Just stop it, because Mayor Richard Gordon Hatcher was inaugurated an hour before that, just so he could have the designation of being, and we are the reason that we have the designation of deputy mayor, because everybody thought he was going to be assassinated. He being the Honorable Mayor Richard Gordon Hatcher. Before that time, we didn't have a
deputy mayor.
We didn't have deputy mayor. He created that. Mm-hmm. So Gary has always sort of been
Mr. Holland, who's a relative.
Yeah. So Gary has always been sort of this forerunner before it became a national trend. You know, in the Midtown section of Gary, we had integration before it became a national agenda, because with the steel mills, all the immigrants would come, and of course we weren't immigrants. We were the only not immigrants, Black History Month. But nevertheless, African Americans, Polish, people from the Czech Republic, which used to be Czechoslovakia, all lived together harmoniously in the Midtown section of Gary.
Yes, we did.
So before it was a national agenda, we were already integrated here in Gary.
Yeah, yeah. The Mills did that for us.
Right.
The
Because we
steel
were a
mill.
company town.
Not only that, Gary has the VJ records. I'm just going just a little history. And they are the ones who brought the Beatles. Beatles
She
came
discovered
to
the
Gary
Beatles.
first. Their first time landing in America was right here to Gary, Indiana.
Absolutely.
Right. And then, of course,
Absolutely.
we
Muhammad
had,
Ali's first wife, when he was Cassius Clay, his first wife was from Gary. So
oh, pretty girls live
it
in
goes,
Gary.
yeah, that's true. We already know that. We can go on and on. The National Democratic Convention, which they
72.
shamefully did not endorse Shirley Chisholm. However, it was the first National Democratic Convention at the Genesis Center in the city of Gary.
West Side High School.
West Side High School. I'm sorry, not Genesis.
1972.
West Side High School.
Right,
You can
right.
stand corrected, yes, but I'm still putting Gary out there.
Yes. Okay. Well, this is a product. We are a product of Gary, so you can see that.
This is our third iteration of a theater here. Our first was right down the street from Mingling. That was the first theater.
Yes.
It was a little scary. No lights back there, but we made it happen. And then the second one was on Lake Street, right next to Vibrations.
Yes.
And that was in 2006. And now we're here. Third time's a charm. Third time you have invested in here. Everything in here has been an investment from the city, from the beautiful people of the city of Gary.
Yes.
The chairs were all paid for. $10 donations, and as you can see, there are names on the back of them, companies, private citizens, people who invested and said, you know, I can do $10, I can invest $10 into the vision. And the vision here is a black box to be used for all artists.
Yes.
Everyone. We are not competing. We are collaborating. Collaboration is strong. And, you know, fingers just by themselves, yeah, they're decorative and they're okay. But when you have the 5 fingers working together and you form a fist, you can really give a powerful blow. And so we need to give a powerful blow to poverty, to lack of education and all of that. And the arts,
Speaking of
they do that.
education, now McKenya is also a teacher at one of our local schools here. And tell us how wonderful that has been for you.
Oh, okay. So I'm a teacher at 21st Century Charter School, and it's not Emerson. It's downtown Gary. It's downtown Gary. And one of the reasons I went back to teaching was not only to fuel this dream, but also to let young people know that, yes, you can travel and you can go outside of your community, but it's so important to come back and let people see that, you know, you don't have to settle for anything. I chose to become a teacher. I chose to come back to the city of Gary. And oftentimes my students, they ask me, why did I come back? And I'm like, why not? I came back because this is my home and I see such great potential.
And so did I. I lived in Seattle, Washington for a long time, but my home was still here.
Right.
And then when I came back, I started with the children. Of course, I love the fashion. I love teaching them etiquette, charm, developing their character outside of a school environment.
Right. Which is important.
Right, because you need to know how to behave, how to act, how to carry yourself. That's so important in today's society because
Absolutely.
everybody's all over the place and nobody is bringing it back down to the class.
Unfortunately, no. I mean, you have to go through so many, I dare say, political hoops to just have experiential learning outside of the classroom. You have to justify it in so many different ways. And a lot of times our young people learn outside of the classroom more so
Yes,
more
they
so
do.
than they do in the confines of the classroom. So it's important it's imperative that we go outside of the classroom, which is why Lake Street Theater should play more of an active role in the development and the education of everyday people, but specifically the young people. We have a Black History program, and I hesitate to say Black History because American history is our history, and so that's why we named our latest production, and it's called American History in Black and White Evolving, and it is an eclectic experimental piece in that you have poetry pieces, you have song, you have some scenes from some very prominent African American playwrights, you have all of these different things. It isn't a traditional sort of play or musical. I mean, it's more of a artist protest, artist social justice piece, and I'm really excited about this because my ensemble, they're all young people. My oldest ensemble member is 16 years old.
Okay.
And they're up here and they're talking about what it means to be Black, you know, and how important it is, Sankofa, how important it is to go back and learn the lessons from the past and bring them forth, because if you don't know your history, you're doomed to, one, repeat it, and two, not have a clear vision for the future.
Isn't that interesting? On that note, we're going to take a break. I'm Karina Mitchell. I'm sitting here with McKenya Dillworth, and we're at the Lake Street Theater right out here in the middle section of Gary. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm Karina Mitchell, and I'm sitting here with McKenya Dillworth. We have a variety of people in Gary with so much talent, and we have them in actually the Midwest. I get a lot of talent from Chicago as well, and they like coming over to here in Gary and sitting down with me and having a conversation.
Right, as they should. You have a wonderful show, Base Art, Base Beauty, Art, Style, and Entertainment on fire. Absolutely. I've been a fan for many, many years, and I'm happy to also call you friend. You've been there for me, and especially when my parents died, you have been an inspiration to me and a true friend, and I don't mean that I don't say that lightly. You have some really interesting guests.
Thank you.
Artists and, boxers. I mean, it's just so eclectic. You never know who you're going to reach out to or who reaches out to you.
Exactly.
So I enjoy it.
But McKenya, you did get some awards and you did get an opportunity. Tell us about what you did in New York, even though you don't like it. But there were some things you did in New York that was phenomenal.
Yeah, so thank you. I managed I was the company manager for the Negro Ensemble company for a couple of months before that particular pool of money dried up. And so the Negro Ensemble Company is really responsible for the Black Hollywood of today. Lynn Whitfield, Felicia Rashad, Denzel Washington, Samuel Jackson, they all came through the Negro Ensemble Theater and company. And I just want to really say that we lost Charles Weldon, who died maybe a month ago now, and he was the artistic director. You've seen his work in Roots, you've seen his work in The Learning Tree, and you've just seen his work. He was on the regular circuit in regional theaters around the United States. He mainly did Ozzie Davis work. No, I'm sorry, not Ozzie Davis, but what's his name? August Wilson. I'm so sorry, August.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. August Wilson work, and so I just want to acknowledge him because he actually gave me the opportunity to work with the Negro Ensemble Theater along with Susan Watson Turner.
Okay, excellent.
And Karen Davis.
Excellent. And you also was a protege of Bill Duke.
Well, yeah, I did a workshop. Yeah, I did a workshop with Bill Duke in LA. That's when I was the artist in residence at Purdue University in West Lafayette, and we would take groups of young people to different places in the United States to study African American culture. And that particular year, we were studying African American images in the media and film. who better to learn from than Bill Duke, right?
I know. Come on, tell us, guys.
Gracious
Bill Duke.
individual.
Some don't know
Absolutely.
who Bill Duke
Bill
is.
Bill Duke. Well, a lot of people don't know that he's a producer, behind the scenes director, but he's a little bit more well known to the younger audience as being in 50 Cents. But the Car Wash, classic,
yes,
classic. Okay,
he directed so many, a lot of the television shows. I can't think of the name of it. Dallas, I think it was. I think he first directed Dallas.
Yes, a lot of the mainstream and also international ones. Some escape me right now, but I want to say it wasn't Heart to Heart, but it was that type of vein.
Yes,
that he directed. Another person who Ted Lang.
Okay. Yes,
from
Ted,
the Love Boat. We did a workshop with him as well. He was incredibly gracious and talented. He's a classically trained actor.
Okay.
Recently, I went to the playwright retreat in Italy.
Okay.
All right. And the city of Gary sent me there.
Right.
And some of my old friends from college sent me as much as $500 to go
that's
there.
interesting.
I was like, what? Okay, thank you. It's tax deductible, but still, thank you. And so my goal was 3,000, and we raised 3,800. And so that 800 we put into a scholarship fund in the memory of my mother, given to people who want to pursue art as social justice at IUM, Purdue, Northwest, in the region, so to speak.
Okay. Well, McKenya is well versed in so many areas and well educated in so many areas. Well, we're going to wrap this up. It's been excellent talking with you.
Thank you.
I just love talking with McKenya because she has so much to say. We can go on and on for the whole night, but I just want to thank you, McKenya, for coming out today. I want to thank you, the audience, for watching, and my crew. I really want to thank my crew.
They're
Ray,
amazing.
Kevin, I really appreciate you guys coming out, helping. This is